You are watching Steve the Bass Guy.
Hey guys, this is Steve the Bass Guy. I'm checking in with you on my channel this time instead of Bass Musician magazine, where I do check in with you quite frequently. Really great magazine to keep up to date on cool techniques, cool products, all kinds of cool things coming out. But today I want to focus on a technique. And in this, I'm playing a set of flat wound strings on a Music Man cutlass. So this is kind of like it's a P bass in a lot of ways. The technique that I want to look at today is something that I kind of call as almost like hard fingering, in the way that, like, when we play some pizzicato, like if we go, we kind of play with kind of a soft fingering. And when we think of like percussive, a percussive attack, what everybody wants to do is they want to pop and slap, and they might kind of come in with slapping. Now the thing about flat wounds is there are guys who are slapping on them. A couple of guys out in LA, like Bubby Lewis, he's a flat wound guy who's popping and slapping. But for us, there's another technique with flat wounds that I really like. So instead of just going with, you know, I play mostly pizzicato, or I'll do like some muted thumb techniques, which is where you kind of bring the palm of the thumb in and bring that into your playing style. But what you can do also is, we normally play, and I'm kind of going through this, and I'm structuring this as I'm shooting this video, because it was on my mind while I was out. Took my son out for a bike ride, and I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, like, this would be kind of cool. So as we play, we want to get like a hard fingering. So say like I take a song like, say like Don't Be Cruel. And I want to emphasize certain techniques. I want to have a poppy kind of like thumpy, not thumpy, but a percussive attack in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tense up my right hand. So I'm not actually slapping I'm not popping the string. In this technique, I'm actually pressing a little harder and down into the pickup. So by pressing down, I'm actually hitting the fingerboard, and the string is coming back, so it gives me that really percussive attack. So when I go, I get a really nice percussive attack versus just, which I like the sound of that, I do, but there's times that I want to emphasize something. It's like using expletives, you know. If you know something's so good, it's fucking good, right? And there's times that I want to use an expletive while I'm playing. So say I'm doing, I want that pop in there, but I don't want to go, I don't want that pop, I want that pop, which does produce a different timbre. It's a different timbre than just plucking. I mean, nothing, you know, if you're doing like traditional pop and slap, or even double thumping, we want something that's kind of rides that line, but we can still stay with a standard finger style technique. So even if I'm playing with my thumb, you know, I can get that pop in there, or harmonics, and I want to do something a little hard. Now, to emphasize the technique, what we want to do is, we normally play, and hopefully, if you are using the floating thumb technique, it doesn't matter. You can be anchored or float your thumb across the strings. But in this case, what I want to do is, I tense up my fingers a little bit, and I'm actually pressing almost down towards the body to get that rounder, brighter tone. And again, these are flats. These are a set of labella flats on here. The low tension labellas. I like these. And my sound signal is, it's a Milkman cab with a Demeter head for this one. Normally I would do the Phil Jones, but I want a little bit muddier of a tone, so I went with the Milkman on this. Phil Jones is very clean. You hear everything. In this case, I want something muddy. But what I want to do is, I want that really, like, you know, to emphasize that, you know. So I get that. plucky in there. And the nice thing about this too is that we can do that on different strings, whereas a lot of times when we're slapping, we're focusing on the D, G, and C. If you have a 5-string or 6-string or the high C. In this case, when you want that percussive plunk, you can do this on any of your strings, whether it's the B, E, A, D, G, or C, or F, or how many strings you might have, whatever limit of strings you might have. But for us, I want to emphasize it because it is a cool technique. When you combine that with some of your other techniques with your playing, like that finger style with the mute and thumb, because you can still get that in there. So, and I can start to emphasize some of those striking techniques. So let's wrap this up again. So let's bring this back in. So the technique itself is like finger style. So we're still playing with the same technique where we're pulling, we're doing what's called a rest stroke. So the string is coming back, like you're plucking the finger and the finger's coming back to the string behind it. Now the difference between this and that is that I'm actually striking the string down. See that? Instead of back, I'm going slightly down. So that gives me a much different tone. If I go like this, or you hear the difference? More percussive. So if you are looking for that percussive technique as an accent, you won't want to do this on every... That would get a little hard on the ears, but as an emphasis or an expletive in your playing, you're putting something out there you want to get attention to, it kind of rolls it around and makes it sound interesting. It brings the listener's ear back in. It's kind of like a disruptive sound for a second, shall we say. But it gets the listener to kind of poke up, like, oh, okay. And it's a cool technique. So for us, as bass players, like we all love really smooth playing, right? But to be able to... Think of it, you know, when you're playing a line or if you're soloing, you're coming into your solo, and you have that... That it all of a sudden brightens up, changes the technique a little bit. So guys, this is Steve the Bass Guy, checking in with you with Steve the Bass Guy channel. This is that percussive finger attack, so it's pizzicato strike, hard strike. Check out Bass Musician Magazine. There's all kinds of new articles up there every week, all kinds of cool stuff. But for me, I'm gonna check it out, check in with me. Don't forget to subscribe. If you subscribe, that'd be awesome. That way I know who's watching and I can tailor some of these ideas to what your questions may be, or figure out what's going on out there in the world, you know. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions about this technique or any of the other techniques I have posted. Also, if you're in the Pennsylvania area and you're looking for lessons, I do personal lessons. You can hit me up through the channel and we can contact and see how we can set that up. All right, guys, peace, love, and low notes. Be well out there. Love you guys.